Okay, there is a new Dune movie trailer. Let's check this thing out. I'm very excited about this movie. I thought Blade Runner 2049 was fantastic. I didn't like the first Blade Runner, but I also watched that in a college dorm room while my roommate was sleeping in the same room on a DVD connected to a VCR connected to another TV through RF. So my experience might have been tainted a little. But anyways, Denis Villeneuve, the director, I like his work, I like his work. Come on, man, is this HD? Is that the best they can muster? Okay, fine. HD, fine.
Asks us to bring peace to Arrakis.
Okay, not much to say, I guess. It looks really cool. A lot of very beautiful people in very beautiful locations. I'm in! So, this house is small enough that we only really need this window air conditioner. It was getting really hot in there. I need to cool it down for a while. You know what I still haven't done yet? Is review my Chevy Volt. Let's do a mini review. So to start off with the looks, I think it looks fantastic. That's not something I really care about that much. I can't see the car when I'm driving it, so I don't care what it looks like, but it does look very cool. Trunk space is pretty good. It's not quite as spacious as I had hoped it to be, and the hatchback hasn't been super useful so far, but I also haven't needed it. These back seats though, they go down, so if you do need to put something in, you've got a fair bit of space, and there's nothing intruding in the way. It's not super wide, but it's wide enough, I guess. Inside, I've got the Premier trim, so it's got leather seats. The seat is pretty comfortable. I have no complaints. The steering wheel is a circle, as you would expect. Cruise control is on the left. Controlling your HUD is on the right. On the right side, we've got volume up, volume down. On the left side, we have the regenerative braking paddle. And apparently, regenerative braking doesn't use your brake pads. It uses something in the engine to slow it down. I'm probably getting that wrong, but I know it doesn't use the brake pads. It's a little bit hard to use. We'll talk about that in a second when we go for a test drive. Here, you can go track forward, track back, but I find that it's kind of delayed sometimes. Also notably missing is there's no play pause button anywhere on the steering wheel. I'm not sure if I'm just missing it, but if you want to play or pause, you have to use the screen over here. The volume knob is nice. It has an instant mute right here. Track back, track forward. These work really well, unlike the ones over here. The screen itself is plenty bright, and I've found that it has been an invaluable addition to my driving. It has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so you just plug in a USB into here, plug the other end into your phone, and then the CarPlay button will show up right here. Blam, you can control your podcasts, you can do your music, all sorts of stuff. The trim model that I have has heated seats, both front and rear, independent controls for each seat. The air condition controls, if you do anything other than just hitting auto and setting the temperature, are one of the worst designs I've ever seen. But in case you're like me and cannot make heads or tails of this, all you really need to know is that on and off is here. You adjust the fan speed with this, it shows up there, and you can adjust the temperature over here. Then you can do directly at you, on your feet, on the window, and then you can turn circulation on and off. And then there's also an eco mode and a max speed mode. And now that I've shown you how to do it, it's actually not as complicated as I thought. In the center, we got not as much space as I would like. There's actually wireless phone charging here. My phone is too big for it. And the space in here is not quite as much room as I'd like, but it's been getting the job done so far. So now let's go take it for a test spin. First thing you notice is that there is a backup camera. As you turn the steering wheel, it shows you where your car is gonna go, and I have found that to be very accurate. When a car comes, maybe I'm not close enough, it'll actually blink a warning indicator telling you something's coming from that side or that side. It's great for the parking lot. And then if we actually back up, reasonably good frame rate, good quality, it works. So on your main display, on the left side, it shows you this green bar, which is how much electric vehicle range we have. It's a plug-in hybrid, so you can use 65 miles of battery. And on the right side, it shows you how much gas you have. I have 383 miles of range, which is like 8.9 gallons. Then if you use these controls right here, You can change various things, like you got your trip B, your trip A. You can make it blank if you want to. Coolant temperature, how many seconds you are from the car in front of you, the speed limit. You can do a random timer. Shows you your average speed, tire pressure, your oil life, and then your total range of how much you can drive, electric vehicle, plus gas. So the Chevy Volt is a plug-in hybrid, which means that you can run it on the battery alone. In the summer, I've gotten as high as 70 miles. In the winter, I was getting the mid 40s. It really depends on what the temperature is outside. After you used up all of the battery, you switch over to gas. But the interesting thing is, it doesn't have a traditional engine. It uses the gas to power the battery. And even more interesting is that if you run out of battery, but you're in some place like the Smoky Mountains, which I was, if you go downhill for a long time, you can recharge the battery back to full. We went from almost no battery to a full battery after like 30 minutes of driving down the Smoky Mountains hill. Now, when you're running on gas, my gas mileage has basically topped out at 41 miles per gallon. Now, when it comes to visibility, this car has terrible visibility. First of all, the rear window goes way too high, so you can't really see it that well. In fact, you can't even see the other car's headlights if they're right behind you. Second, these crossbars here are way too big. Now, I don't like the visibility, but it has been perfectly adequate for all the times that I've driven it. It's not great, but it does get the job done. Plus, on this car, when you're changing lanes, it has a warning light on each of the rear view mirrors, letting you know if there's a car right in your blind spot. I'm a total car layperson. Before I was actually shopping for this car, I never, ever looked at what cars were on the road. But I will say that this car drives very nice. It's nice and quiet, feels smooth, great power. I'm not sure how it ranks among other cars, but it's actually fun to drive. Earlier, I was talking about the regenerative braking paddle. So that paddle only does regenerative braking. It doesn't use your brake pads. But the problem is it's not analog, it's just digital. So like if I'm at a stop sign, I generally know when I can start pressing the paddle and it'll stop at kind of like a set curve, you know? So it would be nice if there was some sort of analog paddle that you could pull on. But I don't know exactly how it works, so maybe it's some sort of limitation of how regenerative braking works. Also, it doesn't come to a complete stop. So at some point you do need to apply the actual brakes. So one more complaint, the windshield wipers, they work really well, but I can never seem to get the frequency to be just right. If it's really heavy rain and I need it to just be as fast as possible, it works great. But if it's kind of a lighter rain and I just want it to be every now and then, it's either too fast or too slow. So I bought this car at the beginning of 2021. What a great time to buy a car. The cheapest one that I could find online was $12,900. Since then, the cheapest one I could find is like $18,000. I love this car. It is fantastic. I don't know why it was discontinued. I don't know why plug-in hybrids are not just the standard. Most people, their only trepidation about electric vehicles are A, the price, but B, the range. And if you got a car that could do 365 miles on gas and you get 60 miles electric vehicle bonus, that means that the only time you need to use gas is on road trips, and on road trips is the only time that you're ever worried about how much range you have. Also, one final note, CarPlay and Android Auto is transformative, but having a nice screen plus good touch controls. So, Chevy Volt 2017, Premier trim, huge thumbs up from Robby. What a car, what a car. Okay, it has cooled off significantly in here. Man, this house has great insulation, so it would actually stay really cool if it weren't for this heater of a computer that I have. It's not a very efficient computer. It's fast. Okay, well, I was gonna say that's gonna do it for today's vlog, but I just saw the FedEx truck and I'm going to wait for that to arrive first, and then we'll talk about that tomorrow. Here it is, the Atomos Shinobi. But like I said, that'll do it for today's vlog. Let's talk about this tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. So my experience might have been tainted a little.